Hi, it's Donna with Queen & Company, and this is the brand new Autumn Splendor kit filled with amazing dyes, acetate, and foam to create shakers, toppings, paper pad, and stamp set. The first apple pie card, I have taken foundation die number 8 and 15 and cut them out together as my base to save paper, and I'm layering foundation die number 3 right over that. This is beautiful pattern paper from this kit. I am using Queen & Company sketch number 5 with the addition of this cute little tag from foundation die number 4. I'm layering on these two different squares from foundation die number 15, and as you can see, this white insert, I went ahead and ran through one of our amazing embossing folders. To create your shaker, you're going to peel off the protective background, and I am using the outline dies, which is an add-on to this kit. Peel off that extra piece of foam, and I keep that inside to keep the shape. And now you can add your wonderful toppings. I'm using gold pearlies, red diamonds, and red princess squares to create this shaker. Once you've got all your toppings inserted, you're going to peel off that protective layer, add your acetate. There you go. And you've got a fabulous shaker. I'm going to take my sheer glue, give a nice thin layer around, and then use my decorative dies. I did use a mirrored gold cardstock for a fun sparkly feel for my pie base. I'm then going to use the 1/2 inch red liner tape, and I like to double up my adhesive on my shakers and also use the sheer glue. I'm going to layer this on the two foundation die number 15s, add my beautiful foundation die number 4 label with the gold cardstock. I used the stamp set Hi Cutie Pie, which went perfect with this adorable shaker pie. And foundation die number 3, this little circle is from, and again I cut it out in gold cardstock. I'm going to layer my heart from foundation die number 9. And this is a fabulous pie accent that comes in the kit to give it that beautiful finished pie look. And I'm going to layer on this adorable heart banner, and this is from foundation die number 10. And once that is nice and secure, I'm going to go ahead and add some fabulous embellishments. And I am going to be using the iridescent bubble, and this is a red beautiful embellishment. It has a little bit of gold sparkle to it. And finally, I'm going to use some of the red rhinestones, which come available in a fabulous bundle at queenandcompany.com. The next Give Thanks Shaker card was created using a 5x7 card base, and I taped 2 pieces of the 6x6 paper included in the kit together so they were long enough for the 7-inch dies from foundation die number 18. I'm going ahead and using some beautiful stripes and polka dots and tone-on-tone paper for the background. This section piece right here, I ran through a beautiful embossing folder and put some great foam squares on the back. I went ahead and started using the outline die and the foam, and I put in some pops and some sparkle squares. I removed the protective layer and I'm adding on my acetate. Once you've got that secure, you can add your sheer glue, a light coat around the edges, and then I'm placing my Give Thanks decorative shaker. Next, I'm going to create some of these trees, and I am using the outline dies, which you can purchase separately. And then I did the decorative die and the tree trunks, which are included in the kit. I am placing the red liner tape and the sheer glue to adhere all my pieces, and I added a little pop square to my green tree. And then I'm going to go ahead and place some extra sheer glue around my Give Thanks shaker and place that next to my trees. So now I have a really great effect on my card. I am antiquing the edges of all these little leaves, And these leaves are from the Shrink Kit by Queen & Company. I've added some sheer glue, and now I'm just going to do like a fall leaf scattered look along the base of my card to add some extra excitement and texture to this lovely fall Give Thanks Shaker card. Next, I'm going to be adding some epoxy dots, and these come in a fantastic bundle, and I'm using the green, the orange, and some of the red around my fallen leaves, just to give it a little extra pop of color. And there we go. Next is our Candy Apple Shaker card, and I'm using the base of Foundation Die 8 for the white cardstock and Foundation Die 4 for these 3 banners and that really cool teal background. I am layering these on my card for my card base, and then I'm going to create my Candy Apple Shaker. I did use the outline die, and I am removing that inside foam piece, and I'm using Beautiful as well as Beautiful Amber diamonds, which are available in the Diamond Bundle by Queen & Company. Once you've filled up your shaker, remove the protective layer, place your piece of acetate right on top there. I like to bend it a little bit in the middle, center it, and then lay it down on both sides. And next I'm going to take my sheer glue and place a nice layer around my apple. Add that little decorative detail, and I am going to make my caramel apple a candy caramel apple by adding some red diamonds. So I poured some sheer glue on top of that red decorative detail and threw some diamonds on top, so it's extra sparkly. Next I'm going to take the little stick, which is another great detail, and I only glued the top of it. I didn't glue down the bottom portion of the stick. And I stamped Your Sweet, and these are from Foundation Die number 8, tying in a piece of twine. Actually, I didn't tie it, I just pushed it over to the back. Then I'm going to use my red liner tape to secure it down, trim off the excess, and go ahead and tape that down. And I'm using the 1/4 inch. You can also use probably the 1/2 inch if you need to trim it a little bit. So once that's nice and secure, I simply pushed it under. Like I said, that wasn't glued down on the bottom half. Add a little red liner tape and a little sheer glue where I'm going to be placing my caramel candy apple. And then I've got that adhesive on my label, Your Sweet, and just stick that onto the top of my apple. And then I tied a little bow. I'm going to use some awesome Gloobers. These are the small. Fold that in half and then place that right there on top of my label. Once you're all done with that, I'm going to take my Goosebumps red and some beautiful red diamonds by Queen & Company, as well as some beautiful, these are kind of like a light brown auburnish color. Goes with that candy apple. And then I also stuck some right on top of my shaker as well, on top of the acetate, to just add a little bit more sparkle and fun to this sweet shaker card. For your adorable Scarecrow shaker card, I cut out Foundation Die 8 and 12 at the same time to save on paper. I've added some leftover foam on Foundation Die number 3 for a nice dimensional look. From Foundation Die number 1, I cut out some white cardstock, and I'm layering that onto the front of my card base. Then I'm going to adhere Foundation Die number 12. I stamped out with some teal dye ink Happy Fall, which is a nice large stamp included in this kit. Next, I'm going to assemble my adorable Scarecrow. And the Scarecrow pieces are all included in your kit. I am going to be using just a little white craft glue that dries clear to adhere his face on, and my amazing Queen & Company jewel pick to pick all these little pieces up. Cute little face. Next, I'm going to create my hat shaker. I am using the outline die, which you can add on to this kit. And I peeled off the protective backing, removed the extra foam, and I'm going to be using the pearlies that are included in your kit. So I used some orange, some teal, peel off the protective backing, add my acetate down, make sure that's nice and secure. Use some sheer glue, just a little bit around the edges. And then I'm going to add my decorative die right over the top of his hat and place the additional decorative pieces to create my Scarecrow hat. And then from foundation die number 9, in that beautiful gold color paper, I cut out some of these great little sprig pieces, and I'm going to glue those to the top of my little Scarecrow shaker hat. Then I'm going to place a little adhesive on the back of his adorable face and some red liner tape to the back of my shaker, add a little extra sheer glue, and layer that right on my Scarecrow. I could have lifted his hat up just a little bit so you could see more of his eyes. Next, I'm going to be taking that same design from foundation die number 9, and I cut it out in the teal paper as well as the beautiful golden paper. From foundation die number 3, I cut out the centers of my little sunflowers that I'm going to create. And the flowers are from foundation die number 9, and I just cut 4 of them out to create 2 sunflowers, added a little extra foam, and then placed my from foundation die number 3 circle right in the middle there. And now you have 2 beautiful sunflowers to accompany your shaker Scarecrow. For a little added fun, I took my sheer glue and I am going to fill in the centers of the brown, and I'm going to add some of those beautiful brown pearlies included in the kit just for a little added dimension and fun to my shaker Scarecrow card. Next, I'm going to take the epoxy dots and just add a couple on the top, and I'm going to just add 2 more on the bottom. I just love these teal epoxy dots. I've run out of them all the time, and they're available in the epoxy dot bundle. That completes the Scarecrow shaker. Next is a stack of non-shaker pumpkin pies, and my base is from foundation die number 8. This layer here is from foundation die number 10, and again I added some extra foam I had left over for some added dimension. And I am going to be also using from foundation die number 4 this little label here. I actually end up moving it to the other side once I stack up my pumpkins, but hey, you can see how the design started. I'm using a little craft glue to glue my pumpkin base, and I did use the outline die as well for this. And next I'm going to be gluing on the little piece of pumpkin pie, I guess it's not a piece, the pumpkin pie filling, and add some extra decorative detail that comes with your pies, as well as the little dollop of whipped cream, which is just such a cute added touch for all of your pies. It's especially adorable on the pumpkin pies. And once those dry, I did create 3 of those in total. This label is foundation die number 3, and the stamp scene is so cute. Pumpkin pies bake fresh daily. So next I'm going to use these remaining bits from my other shaker. So I kept these, and then I had the perfect size foam to add to the back of all of my non-shakers by using the inside of the other pie shaker bits that I didn't use to create my earlier shakers. Then I'm going to go ahead and stack up my 3 pumpkin pies, baked fresh daily, of course. This is when I move over my little label number 4 from foundation die number 4 to the other side, so there's a little bit more room for it. And then I'm just going to add a little craft glue, and these are intended to be used with the pumpkins, but I just thought it was a nice little fall touch to add a little greenery on my pumpkin pies. I mean, they are from pumpkin as well, so thought it would look cute hanging off the sides of this non-shaker pumpkin trio stacked card. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some bling. This is a very light blue available in the rhinestone bundle at Queen & Company. And there is my pumpkin shaker. Our apple basket shaker I'm using from foundation die number 16, the square, which the base is a 5.5 by 5.5. As you can see, I cut out additional pieces from foundation die number 9, the hearts. I'm only using the small one, and the square from foundation die number 5. And then the white cardstock that I'm layering on top is also from foundation die number 16. I cut out 3 more squares, so these are all from the beautiful paper included in this kit. I love the plaids, and I'm layering them with some foam for some added dimension. From foundation die number 13, with white cardstock, I cut that out and then ran it through our embossing folder with these cute little hearts. Put red liner tape on the top and the bottom and adhered that to my card base. This little strip here is also from foundation die number 16, and the label is from foundation die number 11, and I stamped it with a little red and brown combo to match, and it says, "I love you, a bushel and a peck." Next, I'm creating my little basket shaker, and I'm going to be filling my shaker with some red princess squares and some of the red sequins and some diamonds. Remove that protective layer, add your acetate down, and a little sheer glue before I put my beautiful basket decorative die right on top. I am next going to be adding a little bit of red liner tape to the back, as well as some sheer glue, and I'm using the 1/2" red liner tape. Stick that on. I like to double up with the adhesive just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. And I'm going to be using a dumped over basket. Thought that would be cute, a little something different, and I really have fun spilling my toppings. Here is the heart from foundation die number 9, and for my little spilled out toppings, I'm using my sheer glue. So I put a good layer down. The red sequins, which can also look like apples, and I'm using the small and the large. These teeny little paper hearts are left over from foundation die number 11, and I didn't want them to go to waste. I'm using the actual foundation die heart background in a card later on, but I just thought they were so cute. I wanted to add them to my apple basket, and I'm adding a little extra hearts on the side of my basket. It's a little hard to see because it's brown on that dark red, but then I'm going to also place a couple drops of craft glue, and I'm adding a couple more hearts to my "I love you, a bushel and a peck" banner along the bottom there, and then I'm just going to finish up my card with a couple of pearls from the pearl bundle. Oh, no, I'm actually sticking some diamonds on here. Sorry about that. Whoops, I got a little carried away. Adding some diamonds. I just put a couple in there to make it sparkle. And then I'm going to be adding some pearls and some of the rhinestones to finish off this lovely little apple basket card with the featured plaid papers from this paper pad included in your kit. And there you go, just a little rhinestones on the side, and we are all done with our basket card. Our next mini slimline double shaker card, I am using foundation die number 17, which is all mini slimline dies. My base here is about a 6x3, and I'm layering on some white cardstock and this beautiful scalloped edge, which I really love. To create my shakers, I did use the outline dies for my pies. I decided I'm making a cherry pie and a peach pie, because why not? They're paper pies. So I am removing the protective layer of my double-sided foam, adding my base of my pie. I do think it might be important to add just a little bit of glue on where the pie base and that top meet, or you can add a little red liner tape there because these papers are just stacked on top of each other, so might be a good idea. I'm taking out the leftover foam, and these are the pieces that I used to pop up the non-shaker earlier in this video. Next, I am using the teal pearlies that come in your kit, and then I added some teal princess squares. And then for my peach and cherry pie, I used the pearlies that come in the kit. And I added a little bit of diamonds, of course. Add on my acetate to both of my pies, and then I'm going to take my sheer glue and go all around where the foam is on both of my shakers. Make sure you have a good amount. What's great about the sheer glue is you can wiggle it around a little bit until it's exactly where it needs to go. And you can see I'm adding a little extra adhesive for my pie bases. I am adding that decorative element. I'm sure it has a fancy name to all you pie makers out there. Flipping these guys over, adding some red liner tape. Like I said, I should have gone down and put red liner tape where the pie base and the filling part are, so it's overlapped. Next, I'm going to add some sheer glue and then go ahead and attach those to the front of our card. I am going to be making another sunflower. My label here is from foundation die number 4, and I stamped a really cute saying from this kit, "Any way you slice it, I'm grateful for you." I created a sunflower same way we did with our Scarecrow card, added some sheer glue and a little piece of leftover foam, stuck that right on there, and to finish it off we are going to add some epoxy hearts, some orange to our peach pie, and some red ones to the cherry pie, and then I'm going to add some diamonds as well as just a couple of little pearls, and then that finishes up this mini slimline pie shaker card. For this pumpkin shaker and non-shaker card, I'm using an A2 base from foundation die number 8 with some craft paper. The label die is from foundation die number 2, and this lovely little border up here is from the Simple Border collection. Next, I'm going to take this little detail and I cut it out with a matching orange, and that's what goes with the pies, but I thought it would be a fun addition to this card. To create my non-shaker, I am using the outline die, and I'm gluing that onto my pumpkin decorative die, and I cut that out in the beautiful golden paper, and my shaker is cut out in the tone-on-tone orange paper. And I'm going to go ahead and, straighten out my foam. I'm adding in some sequins, some diamonds, and some of the beautiful orange toppings from Queen & Company. Add my acetate and some of that sheer glue before I put on my decorative die. Add a little sheer glue to my golden pumpkin. And then these are the lovely little details that come in this kit. The beautiful leafed vine, as well as the stem of my pumpkin. And I'm just adding a little sheer glue before I go and attach my shaker. Take the 1/2 inch red liner tape, some more sheer glue around my pumpkin shaker, place him down on that lovely label that I have, and from foundation die number 4, I'm adding this little white detail, the little label on the right side there, and a little bit more sheer glue to the vine for my pumpkin shaker, and the cute little stem again. Make sure that's nice and secure. And then I'm going to go ahead and just add my label here, and this is from foundation die number 2, and it just says Happy Harvest Blessings, and I stamped that out in a brown ink. And then I'm going to add some fabulous orange embellishments by Queen & Company, and there is your pumpkin shaker. For our Pilgrim Shaker card, I am using an A2 base, foundation die number 8 and number 3. And next I'm going to be layering on from foundation die number 3 this fun striped strip. Say that 3 times fast. And the scalloped rectangle is from foundation die number 10, the hearts from foundation die 11. A fun little trick, I'm just taking some white craft glue and I'm covering all of this up, and I'm going to let this dry, and it's going to dry nice and shiny, and that's the buckle on my Pilgrim Hat Shaker card. I am using the outline die. I'm filling my shaker with sequins, these pearlies from the kit, and diamonds. Add on my acetate, take my sheer glue, and give it a nice thin layer around my foam here on top of the acetate. And then I'm going to place my decorative die. And I am using the Give Thanks, but I'm going to remove the frame from it. So I do a quick cut, and then I'm just going to go around and fussy cut it a little bit more so it's got nice smooth edges. There we go. From foundation die number 4, I'm using this label. And what I'm going to do, I already went ahead and cut it one time. And then I ran it through again, so it's a nice big label that fits perfectly for my Give Thanks. Taking a little craft glue and sticking this on top of that custom-sized foundation die number 4 label. Here you can see how cool it looks when the buckle for my pilgrim hat is dried. And next I'm going to take a little sheer glue and red liner tape and put down my little pilgrim hat at an angle. These are fun details that are included in the kit. This ribbon, as well as I'm going to now add on my now glossy buckle. And you can see it has like a nice little sheen to it when the glue dried. And next I am going to take the label here, and I am just going to go ahead and stick that on top, and I'm finishing up my card with some of the black epoxy dots, which are available in the epoxy dot bundle at queenandcompany.com. So here was our very fun Pilgrim Hat Shaker card. For our final tree shaker card, I am using an A2 card base, and I'm just using a little craft glue to glue on these great little striped strips. And these are from foundation die number 8. And it's a really great way to incorporate another paper without cutting out an entire sheet of paper for your background. So really helps give that layered look, but you're saving a lot of paper. So once I've got those done, from foundation die number 10, I've got this nice strip of teal here. And this small strip of green is from foundation die number 3. And before I attach these, I'm going to go ahead and stamp out my stamp saying from the set. And it says, I love fall most of all. And the green dye ink that I had was really bright green. So stamping it on this green paper really helps lessen the intensity of the green ink. Next, I'm going to layer a little sunshine in the corner. And these are from foundation die 10, this larger background here. And then I am going to layer on another one, and this is from foundation die 15. This is the inside circle of this die from foundation die 15. Take my scissors and trim off the excess. Discard those pieces or use them for another card. And then I'm going to go ahead and apply some rolly adhesive and layer that right under my striped foundation die number 8. I added some foam to pop up for a little added dimension, my foundation die number 3 layer. And next I'm going to create my non-shaker pumpkin. A really great advantage of having dies in the set is you can just continue to make as many as you want, even after you run out of shakers. So I'm adding the little top of my pumpkin, the stem, adding on the beautiful vines, the decorative vines that come in this kit. And then I'm just going to add a little piece of foam just to pop my little pumpkin up, and then some rolly adhesive on the bottom. And you can see it's got a nice good set of dimension, and that's the same depth as my shaker. To make my tree shaker, I am using the outline die. I wanted to do some fall coloring, so I did that golden yellow base. I'm going to add some yellow sparkle squares, some green princess squares, some sequins in orange and red, and now I have a beautiful fall colored tree. Next I'm going to take the acetate, layer that right on top, give that a good shake, and add some sheer glue so I can put my decorative die right on top there. So I do a nice little layer of sheer glue, place my decorative die from the kit right on top of my tree shaker. Really finishes up that look. Make sure that's nice and dry. And then I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive to my tree stem. And I'm using the sheer glue again because it is going to be right on the acetate. And then I'm just going to apply a little adhesive to the base here, and then some red liner tape and sheer glue to the back of my tree. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere that right in place there. So now I have a beautiful combination of shaker and non-shaker card. Next I'm going to just add a little bit of embellishment. I am going to be using some orange epoxy hearts by Queen & Company, and then some yellow and green rhinestones to finish off my card. I just want to say thank you so much for watching this 10 cards in one set video, and I love reading all of your comments, so feel free to comment below. Subscribe, hit the notification button so you know when there's more Queen & Company videos coming your way. Thank you and enjoy, and this was the Autumn Splendor Shaker Kit by Queen & Company.